LP360 only works with LAS files, although you can use an LAZ file in LP360. So in the instance where we've got these backup ones, if for some reason you have a download issue, you can load that LAZ. What LP360 will do, the very first step when we add that in, is it'll extract the LAS file from that compressed LAZ file. We can't directly work on the LAZ because that format doesn't lend itself to making edits to a file in place directly in that compressed file format. So we have to extract it first, work with the LAS, and then rezip it if we make changes to it. So LP360, we'll go ahead and open that up. Now that we've got some data to work with. And if you go to File, License Manager, this is where you have a server with all your licenses on them. And you'll have on the left side the available licenses. There are different license levels. For instance, you have advanced floating licenses, which allow you to do everything in the product. And then you have you have standard floating licenses, which will allow you to do anything manual and classification, break lines, product generation, all that sort of thing. You just can't run some of the automated routines like classifying ground or doing like building classification of the data set. And if I recall correctly, I think those are the only two license levels that you have. We're going to take the advanced floating license today. There is an option to roam the license. So if you take an advanced floating license, we'll check it out. And when we close the program, it will automatically check it back in and make that license available for another user. If you roam the license, in that type of license, we always have to be connected to the license server. So I can't disconnect from the internet. I've always got to be connected. If I'm going to go on a plane, then I might roam the license so that I can disconnect from the server. And if I roam the license, then we set a checkout period, and the license will be on the machine for that period, that checkout period. And at the end of that checkout, it will automatically become available in the pool again. But if I don't, if I close the program, the license does not get checked back into the server. It does not become available for other users. So I usually do not use the roam license unless you're going to need it. So we'll check out a floating license by clicking at the checkout floating license button. And then it should show you that you have a current license, and the green check mark tells you that you're licensed, and we just want to make sure that that says advanced floating. If I wanted to change license levels, then I check in the floating license, and then I could switch to a standard floating if I don't need the advanced features. Or if all I'm doing is visualizing the data, then there's actually another license level that I failed to mention, which is the LP360 viewer floating. So you have a very large number of these viewer floating licenses that can be used if all you're doing is pulling up a point cloud and looking at it, making measurements on it, but you're not trying to run any automation tools, that sort of thing. But like I said, for today, we'll check out the advanced floating license. And once we do that, we can just close. I guess I should mention, there is a licenses tab, and the licenses tab will show you all the licenses that are on your server. They will have a maintenance date with them. And the maintenance date controls what version of the software. You can open any version of the software within, prior to that maintenance date. And you can also see, are there available licenses? Has everybody got them in use? And then if they're all in use and you're trying to get a certain license level, you can contact your license administrator, which I believe Colin McCormick is still administering your licenses. and he can figure out who's got them and how to get you one of the license level you need. So we can close out a license manager.